over 1 million people a year are arrested for drug possession. 1/5 of incarcerated people, about 500,000, are serving time for a drug charge. So there's a huge cost. People's lives, the economic loss of productivity, tens of billions of dollars in taxes between state and federal, just to fund the arrests, the trials, and the jail. And that doesn't even take into account all the tax revenue that could be made from legalizing all this stuff. The other thing is, we were talking about a lot in 2020, how to make things better for the Black community. And I didn't really hear a lot about legalizing drugs. I didn't see a big push for legalizing marijuana. The people that get absolutely railed by these drug laws are Latins and Black people. So police shootings are tragic, literally just awful when anybody dies, but way, way, way less Black people are affected by police shootings than by these drug laws. And so I just think, we've talked about this before, selfishly, I think psychedelics are amazing. They've shown amazing abilities to help people with depression and anxiety and this and that. And so that's the angle I've covered for why we should legalize drugs. And then separately, we were talking about cartels because we had a fan question, might have been a Patreon question, about our thought on cartel violence. And I think it's completely enabled.
Join the Patreon, it's great.
I think it's completely enabled by the fact that these drugs are illegal, because this is just our moonshiners from Prohibition era, basically. We've legalized, made these things illegal. So there's a ton of people dying in Mexico because these superpowered cartels are funded by illegal drugs, and they would lose all that money immediately. And then I was thinking, you know what another angle is for legalizing drugs? All these people that are in jail, you talk about this, I don't know, just disrupting the Black community. And I think that it seems like drug possession arrests have a way bigger impact than the amount of time they get talked about on the news.
It seems like a rare lose policy.
It's amazing. I really don't, especially, and you know what? Personally, I think we should legalize it all. I think legalize cocaine, legalize heroin, just create whatever rules you need to make sure that people don't hurt each other. But especially just making marijuana. We already have cigarettes legalized. We have vaping 16-year-olds. Like, we have alcohol where drunk driving occurs.
Very inconsistent culture and laws. I agree.
So if you just legalized weed, the amount of people whose lives would not be disrupted by possession of a substance that's not any worse than the other legal ones is really large compared to other things I've heard talked about in terms of how to help the world. And this would specifically help Latin and Black Americans. But I think it's just good for everyone. So anyway, that's my rant. I think the war on drugs doesn't get nearly as much shit as it should.
Is there anyone out there pro that anymore?
Yeah, tons. Otherwise, it would be legal federally. There's a ton of senators that will not vote to legalize marijuana nationwide. They're old and they're brainwashed in the same way that I think people are brainwashed now by the news. When these people were watching the news, they were watching Reefer Madness, and they just have not updated their software.
They're getting old. I mean, this is going to be.
Nancy Pelosi's 80, Trump's 80, Biden's 80. I'm rounding up a little bit, but so you're saying why this will be legal eventually?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Every year it's not.
It's a shame.
1 million people get arrested for it every year. 1 million. 1,000 people get shot by cops. 200 are Black. 1 million get arrested for drug-related things, and the majority are minorities. So like, that's at least 500,000 people you could help if you want to focus on helping those communities. I think it's insane. Every single year that this stays illegal, that happens. So anyway, that's my rant. It's crazy. But yeah, the reason that it doesn't happen is because over half the Senate is still against legalizing marijuana.
And why are they? And of course, you would like them, but they're just humans like every other that do what it takes to keep their job and do what it takes to get paid. And
well, someone could run on this. Here's what could happen. Someone could run in a state and say, I think this is a really important issue. And they could rattle off all the money we're going to make, the crimes we're going to stop, the people. And then the people in that state could care about that as their mobilizing issue instead of caring about building a wall or defunding the police. They could care about making this their primary issue. And then they could elect senators that would make this their primary thing. But it's going really slowly. Honestly, it's going really slowly. My friend moved from California to Tennessee. He has very bad anxiety and had medicinal marijuana and cannot have it now in Tennessee. So what did he do? Well, I'll give you a hint. He still has anxiety, so he's still smoking weed. He's just paying a drug dealer now. Like, that's what the law. He didn't go, you know what? Maybe I'll just deal with panic attacks. Maybe I'll respect the state law and I'll just have panic attacks. No, he said, okay, I'm going to get this thing. I'll just pay a drug dealer who's
Yeah.
part of a gang who's funding a cartel.
It's crazy.
Just let him go to a dispensary.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't know a ton of what does it. This is just it reminded me. We're going to have, I believe, Cosmic Skeptic is coming on sometime soon.
Yep, he said he's down.
Cool. So we're going to chat with him. He had an interesting video.
Street epistemology guy?
No, different guy. His name is
different
Cosmic Skeptic. And I've been watching his stuff. You haven't.
There's so many guests. Jeez. I can't give we got 3 guests coming up.
Well, in any event, he did a video recently that I thought was one of the more interesting takes on the pandemic, which is one of the things we all acknowledged at the beginning is that this came from bats and or a wet market in China. And the ways that we know that these viruses start is they begin in animals that are closely kept together. They hop around, and because of the opportunities they have to move, they eventually mutate to where they can be caught by humans. So you put all these sick animals, you give it 1 million chances to replicate, and you get coronavirus, you get Ebola, you get all of these, you get mad cow, you get all these different kinds of things. And if we really want to stop the next pandemic, what you do is you stop factory farming, because that'll almost certainly take care of it. Like,
yeah, but you'd have to do it internationally. Even if the U.S.
Sure,
passes a law
sure.
saying no factory farming, that's not going to affect China's wet markets.
absolutely. But if China had passed a law 5 years ago,
Yes.
we would not have coronavirus.
Yeah.
So like, we're going to make ours eventually. And the question is, do we need to add ours to the mix? Now, it's just an interesting, it's complete. You cannot run on this. You cannot, like, it's totally unpopular today. But just an interesting, if you don't like the pandemic, there are ways to ensure that this is very unlikely to happen again.
Yeah.
That most people just,
Do you think it'll become, so obviously at some point you're a politician and you say, I'm going to run on integrating black and white people in the US.
Yeah.
And you just get destroyed. But
Yeah.
then at some point you run on that and you win.
and at some point
The
you
pop-
can't
the
not.
popul- the populace
yeah.
turns.
Yeah.
And then same thing with, I think, gay marriage. Largely, if it came out that you were anti-gay marriage, although I guess Hillary Clinton said she was anti-gay marriage.
Yeah,
She
but
still
now,
got to
no,
be
not
president.
today. Today it's over.
So do you think that at some point in the next 50 years, someone will run and win based on an animal cruelty, let's say top 3? That's one of their top 3 issues.
I don't know. It all I can say is it totally depends on the movement of technology and economics. That's it. It's not going to be people's consciousness or conscience waking up. It's just going to be when it's no longer when you can get bacon in other ways, when you can get what you want in other ways. And I think that has been true of, like we've mentioned, almost every breakthrough has been, don't worry, you're still going to get your cotton. Don't worry,
Yeah.
you're still going to get this. Like,
So I actually know it's probably very hard to at scale convince people to think any of these things about veganism or meat, but I've had individual conversations with people about everything. You know, I was watching 12 Years a Slave. It reminded me of slavery, the whole story. And the point I find I get to in most of those conversations is the person goes, that makes total sense. I don't disagree, but man, is meat tasty. And then they keep eating meat. And I think that that's an interesting place to land.
what happens, the people that change their minds see the pictures. They see the images. And what most people know is that they'll talk to you about it. They'll talk to you for 30 minutes. Try to show them a documentary and they will run out of the room because they know that's the leverage point. They know if they see the picture. And what Cosmic Skeptic, I think, does purposely and very good is it's him on camera, and then spliced in is like 2 to 3 seconds of B-roll of a farm. And it's not the most horrible moment that would make you run out of the room, but it's bad. You know, it's like, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here. And I got to
takes it away, but then he takes it away.
Yep.
So it's not overwhelming.
Yep. And I think he does it on purpose, and I want to talk to him about it because I think it's pretty smart. Because I watched it, and while I haven't gone back, but I often am frustrated by my decision to not eat red meat and chicken. And
I'm waiting for someone to convince
watch
me
his
that
videos,
I'm
man.
wrong.
Watch his videos.
No, I know.
You'll feel good for 24 hours at least about your decision not to. You'll feel really good about it, and it won't tempt you because it's fucking horrific. Like, it is so disgusting and so horrible, and you know it, but it doesn't hit like when you see it. And he's got like the low audio. He's just exposing you enough to it that you don't run away screaming.
I wonder if he experimented with that and saw like a huge audience retention problem.
We can ask him. Yeah.
He just put up a 30-second horrific thing and saw the audience
Just
bounce. It's like,
disappear.
all right,
Yeah.
well, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I wonder if he has a story like that.
No, and I've asked people. I was like, I want to watch the Joaquin Phoenix documentary Dominion, and nobody will watch it with me because the entire thing is about the brutality of factory farming. I can't get anyone to sit down. I still haven't seen it. I've been asking for a year.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, you just gotta give it a little bit of how horrible it is. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.